In today's video, I'm going to be helping you guys how to go from zero brokey to $10,000 a month. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. You have never made money on the internet. Making $10,000 a month is probably a crazy goal. You probably don't even make six figures in your current job. Today, I'll be breaking down why you should do TikTok Shop. It's actually really simple. Now, there's a couple of things that I left out here, but I hope you guys don't mind me just yapping over it. But, anyways, so how am I credible? Why am I worthy listening to when it comes to TikTok Shop? So, hey everyone, my name is Sydney. I have personally made over $200,000 profit in a single month through TikTok Shop. Now, this video is not about how to go from zero to $200,000 profit in a single month, right? We need to start small, and we are starting small, which is why I made the goal 10K a month. If you don't believe me, my Twitter is public. You can look that up. And I've personally consulted about a couple people already. Some of them have made 100K profit from my product recommendations, how they should go about content, their approach to content. Should they do retainer? Should they do affiliate, etc.? And even just whether they're already doing TikTok shop or they're switching different business models, or I've even consulted for agencies and even college students. So I have quite a decent range of the amount of people I've consulted. But a common issue that I noticed is that the types of people I'm consulting for already have a little bit of understanding when it comes to TikTok, right? So the challenge is how can I make digestible content for complete beginners? So that's why I'm making videos like this because I'm trying to figure out what's your guys' issues, right? How can I best help you guys? How can I best tackle these challenges for people that literally have never made any money on the internet before. So this is why we're starting right here, right? So if this is probably you, you're probably broke, you have no experience, and you don't know where to start and you want to make money online. Now here's the thing. When you look up how to make money online, there's going to be a lot of options. There's going to be things like drop shipping, Amazon FBA, SMMA, copywriting, reselling, trading, right? Stocks or crypto, etc. And there's so many, and all of them work. But the problem is, some of them you either have to start with money. For example, Amazon FBA, you need to buy inventory, things like that. It's very expensive to get started with that, right? $3,000 to $5,000. Or with SMMA, you have no skills, right? Sure, maybe you can finesse a little, convince a couple people to sign them on this retainer deal. But because you don't have any skills, right? And you can't perform for them, like literally, then you're not going to be able to retain those clients. So you can probably finesse your way to 10K a month, but that's going to instantly come crashing down. So don't really recommend that to beginners. Another thing is drop shipping. A lot of people love drop shipping. I'm not here to say drop shipping doesn't work. It's a scam. There's a lot of gurus. All they do is sell you a lifestyle. I mean, there's some truth to that, but let's get the facts straight with drop shipping. So, for example, if you're a complete brokey and you actually have no money, the thing with drop shipping is you need to test fast. You need to act quick. So, if you have money, then you can do paid ads. But assuming in this example you're a complete brokey, you don't have that as a choice. So, what do you have? You have organic drop shipping. Now, the thing with drop shipping, right? It's not just a one skill thing. There's actually a lot of skills involved, which is why I don't really recommend it to viewers, and which is why I'm leaning heavily with TikTok Shop. And I'll explain more in a little bit. But yeah, going back to the drop shipping example, the issue with drop shipping is you need to figure out how to make a good website, how to write good copy for your website. You need to know how to find manufacturers, you need to negotiate with them, right? And you need to figure out like your customer support. Like there's just so many things that goes into it, and I know because I've tried it myself. And it's very stressful. Now when I did try drop shipping, the main key thing that helped me actually make money is this one skill, and that's knowing how to make content. Now this is why I'm very bullish on TikTok Shop, because unlike these other models, especially drop shipping. With TikTok Shop, you're relying on literally just one skill, and that's you need to know how to make good videos. And I can confidently like vouch how important of a skill is content creation. As you guys can see behind me, I have a YouTube play button. I've been making videos for almost 10 years now. I've been in the content space for that long. Regardless if I'm doing different things now from what I used to do back then, at its core, content is such an important skill in 2025 in today's day, because if you know how to capture attention, hold that attention and direct it, right? Then you have so much leverage. Literally, think about it. Let's say there are people using an app, right? Why do you think companies are willing to spend billions of dollars to make sure that these people stay on the app? Because the longer they stay on the app, the more ads they watch, the more money these companies make from other businesses that are willing to pay for a sliver of that person's time. So what most people don't realize is that in today's age, your biggest asset is attention. Why? Because attention is related to time, and time is a finite resource. So it boils down to this. In today's day, you have consumers and you have creators. So if you're on the consumer side of things, right? Businesses, creators, everyone, they're just going to take advantage of you, right? So while you're sitting here watching people live their dream lives, you're helping them build their dream lives essentially. Whereas alternatively, if you wake up and actually do something, right? Instead of just doom scrolling all the time on TikTok, Instagram Reels, etc. Instead, you can be that creator on the other side and monetize, you know, on the things that your skills, right? And make money off of people doom scrolling. And essentially, at its core, that's what content is. Very, very broad explanation, but I'm really heavy on the fact that like content is going to be even bigger in the next couple years, and you don't even have to be public on the internet. It's just you need to know how content works and how to capitalize on it, because it's like a thing that's people are slowly losing track of. But yeah, anyways, oh my god, I'm so hungry that I'm kind of all over the place. But anyways, with that being said, so that's how important content is. And it's even more important with TikTok Shop. Again, the way how TikTok Shop works and what it is essentially you just film and talk about products on your phone. And literally, the only skill that you have to master is how can you capture that attention? What can you do to stop a viewer from scrolling, give you a couple seconds of their time, right? And then once you've captured them, right? How can you explain something in such a way where now, oh, wait a minute, I actually have this problem, right? Maybe I have hair loss or maybe I have chronic back pain. Oh, and what is this person saying on the video that can actually help me? And once you've piqued their curiosity and brought awareness to that problem, now another skill is like, how can I actually create such a compelling story where somehow this problem is attached to this product and how this product can solve their issue, right? And then that's how you get a sale. But, I don't want to talk too deep into that because that's a little bit too complicated, but I hope that makes sense. So, anyways, when you get to the how to make money online, you usually fall into like three categories. It's either one, you fully want to replace your current 9 to 5 income. If you do work a job, I assume you at least have some savings, like at least a couple dollars, right? Next thing is you're kind of in between, right? Either you don't want to fully commit yet because you don't really know if this is going to last forever, or you're a college student and you're more occupied with that. So you have very little time to invest or other things. Or maybe you're just looking for another means to make money so that you can pay your car payments, your gas, food, your rent, etc. Or alternatively, you're the third option where you're literally, just nothing. Like don't work a job, you're broke, no experience, no skills, and you're probably really young too. But don't worry, if you are young, you have a huge advantage. You have time on your side. And the thing with content too, oh my God, I cannot stress this enough. With content, your skills compound over time. I'm telling you guys, it does not matter what thing you do. If you know how to write great stories and capture people's attention, you can literally sell anything. You can literally do anything. You don't even have to do anything in terms of like selling, let's say, physical products or digital products, right? You can literally just make content, like be a content creator doing entertainment. Doesn't matter. Like the whole realm of content is so broad, like you can just do so much with it. But with that being said, now let's talk about where are you in this three category and what is your goal? Because depending on your savings, your skill level, experience, whatever, can help fast track your process to success with TikTok Shop. Because, for example, if you do work a job, assuming you probably have a couple extra dollars, when we get to the first step in this video, it can save you a lot of time, right? But don't be upset, don't get discouraged because I'm gonna try my best to break down everything in this video. Doesn't matter where you are on this scale, right? So, with that being said, first we're gonna start with mindset. You need to realize that making money on the internet is actually real, right? And this is probably gonna be a hard one, especially if you've never made money on the internet. You probably think most people are scammers, or they're just gurus, or they're just trying to sell you something. But it doesn't always have to be that way. Making money on the internet is real. And if you still don't believe that in 2025, you're pretty cooked, right? Anyways, moving on, you also need to understand that money is abundant. And I get it, right? If you came from a poor family, no trust funds, etc., or you're an immigrant from a third world country like I am, probably, came from an upbringing where money was very scarce. But you need to understand that with the internet, it's actually a free game. Unlike a regular 9 to 5, you're kind of stuck making like, I don't know, maybe 20, $25 an hour unless maybe your boss gives you a promotion or you job hop, right? But on the internet, it's an entirely different game. So you don't really have probably the same stability as like a traditional 9 to 5. But on the bright side, your income is not capped and you can basically speed run the entire process based on how many hours you put in and how fast you learn and how many skills can you gain. So essentially the point that I'm trying to make is when it comes to making money on the internet, everything is within your control. Literally everything. It's up to you to decide how many videos I want to post, how many skills I want to learn, literally everything. Maybe besides, like the type of people that watches your videos or the amount of views you get. But, on the other side of that, if you're not getting a lot of views, you can fix that. You can try to reverse engineer, okay, what about this video didn't work, right? What can I do to make it better? So, moving on, another thing that comes with people that didn't come from a crazy upbringing and they're from a poor family is that they think money is everything. And yes, that does hold some truth, but it's not entirely everything. And the reason why I say that is because, for example, let's say you decided to do trading, right, crypto, etc. If you have a lot of money to put in, obviously you're going to make a lot of money, right? Because you have a lot to start with. But the thing with, for example, content is you can actually bootstrap a lot of it. You can start with as little as possible. And at the end of the day, what's more important is your skills, not how much money you have. Because let's say, you know, you have a business or you actually do have some money. What if you were to just hypothetically lose all of it because, a method gets patched or I don't know, like some new policy gets changed, right? How are you going to make money if you don't have money, right? Essentially, you need skills. So that's why it's not money that makes you, it's your skills that make you. And it doesn't matter if you lose your money multiple times. If you have the skills to back it up, you're always going to make it back. And then lastly, be realistic, right? I know I started this video with the goal of, oh, this is how I'm gonna take you from zero to $10,000 profit in a single month. But if you're somebody that has never made money on the internet, that's probably a crazy goal. I'm not saying like don't shoot for the stars. Like it's really important to shoot high. But what ends up happening is when your goals are way too high and you haven't even started yet, it puts you in this state of analysis paralysis where you don't know what to do, right? And eventually you're gonna get stuck in this cycle where you're gonna watch video after video after video on how to make 10K a month to the point that you're actually not even doing anything. You're convincing yourself that you're learning, that you're doing something, but I'm gonna be completely honest, you're not. So I hope that at least by the end of this video, you actually try something. That's why I'm not gonna go too in depth with anything. It's just the basic understanding of how to get started with TikTok Shop so that you guys can actually start. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in a comment section down below, as well as in the description. I have a newsletter where I actually have more detailed advice for TikTok Shop. So if you're ready to take it to the next step, I have that. But with that being said, going back to your goals and being realistic, before you get to a 10K profit month, you need a back trace, right? Before you get there, you need to start with figuring out, okay, how can I actually make $1,000 a month, right? Start with four figures and then you go to five and you go to six, etc. Right? That's why I'm saying at the beginning of this video, I'm not here to teach you how to go from zero to, a $250,000 profit in a single month. That's insane. That is insane. You need to start with going from zero to 1,000 first, because what I realized is the hardest thing for most people is going from 1,000 to 10,000. So from four figures to five figures. But anyways, once you figured out, okay, yeah, I'm gonna set a small goal of me trying to make $1,000 a month doing this TikTok shop thing. Now try to break it down. Like, how much do you have to make in profit every single day? Because, in a month, there's 30 days, right? Because when you actually break your goals down into tiny bite-sized pieces, it actually makes it more, lack of a better word, digestible. It makes it, less difficult, or you feel less pressure to actually start, and prevents you from overthinking, trying to micromanage everything, and get stuck in this state of analysis paralysis. Because the easier you make your goals to be, the easier it is to start. And that's important. You just need to start with something, right? And learn from your mistakes and try to improve as you go. If you want to get started with TikTok Shop, the first thing that you need to do is you need to get an account for TikTok Shop. So to qualify for the TikTok Shop affiliate creator program, you need a minimum of 5,000 followers and you need to be 18 years old. So there's multiple ways to do that. There's two methods. There's the slow but free method, but then there's also the fast and easy method. But the problem is this one costs money. So this is why I was talking about earlier. It really depends where you lie in like this three-section tier. So starting with the slow but free method, we're going to be growing accounts from 0 to 5,000 followers. Now, this is actually one of my favorite methods, especially for beginners, because let's be honest, you have no money, you're broke, and at the end of the day, you still have to learn the same skills anyway, so you might as well go this route. All right, so when it comes to theme pages, there's actually multiple different ways to go about it. Ideally, you stick with topics that you're relatively knowledgeable about, and this makes things a lot more easier. And this is gonna kind of trickle down to the next part of this video, the second module, or whatever you want to call it. But essentially, the idea is with theme pages, you can make accounts based off of like a particular topic, right? Whether that's wellness tips, food tips, gym tips, lifestyle, etc. Or like, let's say it's ASMR videos or you deep cleaning your house. I'll attach like a couple videos on the screen of what I'm talking about, because I can't find the account right now. But going back to the theme pages, the fastest way I've done this is through slideshows. They're really easy. You just take a couple images. You can easily go on Pinterest just to get the point across. Like, download the images, add your captions, import all of it on TikTok, add your captions. You get the idea. So here's an example of like some wellness tips, like 7 ways to reduce your cortisol. And if you're struggling to come up with literally anything, because let's just say, yeah, you just don't know anything, for some odd reason, you can always use ChatGPT, right? Show these images to ChatGPT and, write up some prompt like, help me come up with like wellness tips around whatever the topics are. ChatGPT is pretty smart. It just comes down to you trying your best to explain what exactly do you want, right? So anyways, as you can see, there's like slide one, slide two, different types of wellness tips. And the end goal is to have 5K followers, right? So some of my favorite ways to get to 5K followers is to actually have like a call to action towards the end of the slideshow, like, oh, if you love these tips, or like these travel tips, these wellness tips, these fashion tips, these gym tips, drop a follow. right? Or drop a comment. And then maybe on a future post, tell them to drop a follow. Or sometimes if you're like into astrology or I don't know, manifestation, you can have people leave comments like, drop a follow for good luck. Or if you want X, Y, and Z, like if you want to manifest money, maybe that's a little bad one. Let's come up with something. Like let's say like your post is about manifestation techniques on becoming a millionaire. I have no idea. You can get creative with it. You can have the call to action be like drop a follow to claim. Literally things like that. Anything would work. This is the organic method, right? So here's another example like Japan travel tips. Like people right now love traveling to Japan. So if you've been to Japan or you know a little bit about Japan, or if you don't, there's content out there. Take inspo from it and literally just try your best to like combine everything, compile into something and create Japan travel tips. And the end result is something like this, right? The dark side of living in Japan that nobody talks about, something like that. And again, if you don't know anything about this, literally take whatever you see, give it to ChatGPT, tell it to either rewrite the thing or come up with things similar to it, and then make your theme page around that, like tips, advice, whatever. People like watching stuff like that. The next thing is reposting clips. So if you guys go on TikTok, there's usually like a lot. Like we're talking, who are the popular streamers? You have Aiden Ross, Kai Sinat, I Show Speed, right? You can look up I Show Speed clips. Probably a lot of accounts here. This is probably going to be a little bit hard, but it's still relatively easy. I mean, like, look at this clip page 18K followers, 100K followers, 27K followers, right? Remember, to get access to TikTok Shop affiliate as a creator, you only need 5,000 followers and be 18 plus years old. It just, like, essentially the idea is you're downloading other creators' content, like streams, and you're clipping it and then you're repurposing it. And so if you are doing this method, I recommend going to this website called Adarsis. Essentially what this does is it removes the metadata on your videos. This is a little bit too technical, so I don't want to get too deep. But yeah, I hope that helps. So moving on to the next step, the paid method. So there's two ways to do it. You either run TikTok ads, and I actually have like a fully detailed Google Doc explaining how to do this. If you want to check that out, I'll leave the link in the description down below. Next, buying accounts. Again, with this one, pretty straightforward. Usually accounts cost anywhere from $300 to $400 or $200 to $300, somewhere around that range. Now, there's two types of accounts. You either get a verified account or a non-verified account. So, if you are not a citizen of the United States and you want to get access to a TikTok shop account, you need to buy verified accounts. Essentially, like somebody just verifies the account for you, and then you can start posting your TikTok shop videos. And then there's another way to verify the account, because when it comes to TikTok shop accounts, it's actually a two-step process. You have the first one where you're verifying your identification to make sure that you're not a bot. And then the second one is you're verifying your identification to cash out your commissions. So you're essentially confirming your tax information. Now, this is a little bit too technical, so I'll make a separate video on this. But essentially, if you're not from the US, just buy the verified accounts. It makes everything easier. But if you do live in the United States, then you can get the non verified accounts in which you will verify yourself that, yes, I am a real person. And don't worry, TikTok's not going to hack you. I don't know why people keep thinking that. But, anyways, once you have access to your TikTok account, or you finally have one, then we move on to the product selection. Now, this is what I like to call the me framework, where essentially you need to find products that you actually use on a day to day basis. Now, the reason why is because if you have products that you already use on a day to day basis, then chances are you already have the product in hand. And assuming you're starting from the bottom, where you have no money, no skills, nothing. I mean, I would assume you at least live with some family members, right? And you could probably afford a couple of things here and there. Then you probably already have products around your house. So that's why I called this next step the me framework. Like, really take a good look at yourself. What are the things that you use on a day to day basis? And like, what type of person are you, right? So, for example, if you're not really a fit person, you're probably going to have a hard time trying to sell like gym related products, fitness related products, or for example, let's say, you don't have clear skin. If you don't have clear skin, how do you expect to sell products that's meant to help people accomplish having clear skin? So try to figure out like what are the traits already like that's already with you, and what are the things that you already use on a day-to-day basis. The reason why for this section, the product selection, I started with this is because this makes it so much easier to get started with TikTok Shop instead of trying to look for viral products or trying to look for trending products. Because I'm going to be honest, if you're a complete beginner and you literally know nothing, it's going to make it significantly harder. You're not going to be able to capitalize on trending products. Like, you just don't know what you're doing. So, alternatively, if you, let's say, going back to the gym example right here, if you're this guy and you look like this and you have like a relatively decent build, or you're a woman with clear skin, when you start to talk in your videos about a particular product, you're going to sound more confident. You're going to have more conviction. And that's really important when you're making these TikTok shop videos, because, for example, that brings us to the third step, making your videos. Like when you're making your TikTok shop videos, the target goal is to act as organic as possible. Like you don't want to look like an ad or you're trying to sell something, because that's the last thing people want to see, right? Like they don't want to be sold anything. They're on TikTok for entertainment. And God forbid they're scrolling for fun after like a long 12-hour workday. And next thing you know, somebody's on their feed like, you need to get this product right now. There's currently a flash sale and you're going to miss out. Sure, some aspects of that video probably works, the FOMO, the scarcity, the urgency, whatever. But the point is, people are on the app for entertainment. And if you can somehow deliver your video in such a way where it's very organic, yeah, so a couple years ago, I struggled a lot with horrible cystic acne. And then I started using this and it cleared up my skin. And I can't stress this enough. Like, this product literally changed my life. If the person watching, is somebody that struggles with acne, or someone that doesn't have clear skin, they're going to see this and they're like, oh wow, like this is a testimonial from someone that also struggles with the same issues that I do. So then they're going to actually want to watch the entire video. If you do a pretty good job on just being genuinely honest with the results, and your story is actually relatable and it really resonates with the viewer, then they're going to buy, right? But there's more skill that goes into that. But at its core, you just want to be as natural as possible and you want to be as authentic as possible. And how can you do that? You pick products that already align with you, products that you already use, because you can actually speak with conviction that, oh my God, this Korean sunscreen actually works. Look at my skin. I have clear skin, right? No dark spots, no hyperpigmentation, whatever, right? I have young, youthful skin because I don't allow the sun to damage my skin, because I actually take care of it and I use Korean sunscreen. There you go. That's why you make videos on products that you actually use. Copy what works. Assuming that you've never made a piece of content in your entire life, I want you to go on TikTok, look up videos in your niche, videos about your product, look for videos that are already viral. Try to take notes on what they're doing, what they're saying, what's the selling point, what are the things people are talking about. And then when you try to make your own videos, try to be mindful of the things that you took note of, and then try to apply your own twist. Assuming you are starting with a product that you actually already use, this shouldn't be that hard. Next thing, you don't want to sound too professional, because sometimes, you know, people often get told as a beginner on TikTok shop, like, you need to fix your tonality, you need to have stronger conviction with your words, blah, 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 blah. People typically mistake that by sounding too professional, and it just sounds extremely scripted. So what you're not going to do is do that, and instead what you are going to do is just try to act natural, right? Like, just try to treat it like when you're filming your videos, on the other side is just a friend and you're on FaceTime, right? And you know how that's like. If you don't know how that's like, then have a friend, have a family record you while you are on FaceTime and then just try to take notes on like how you carry yourself. Because, yeah, whenever I have some calls with clients, some of the videos that I've seen where, whoa, like some of these people are trying too hard to be somebody that they're not. And what ends up happening is they just come across as a poser on their videos. And what's really important when you're trying to sell on TikTok Shop is you want to sound authentic. You want to be authentic, right? And if you're trying to be someone else and you end up being a poser, then people are just not going to trust you. And people only buy from the people that they trust. So literally act normal, film yourself talking to someone on FaceTime. And again, take notes on how you carry yourself and just be your true natural self. Because at the end of the day, like most people are not stupid. They can easily snipe out fake frauds, posers. And so literally just be normal. And it makes it even easier because, again, going back to the previous point, if you're promoting products that you actually believe in and actually use, it makes it even easier because, you know, you're confident this stuff works because you actually use it. So that's why I said start with products that you already use. But, anyways, moving on to the next point, do practice runs. Like if you're a complete beginner, obviously you're not gonna have the reps down. You don't know what it's like to film a video. It's gonna feel a little bit awkward with the awkward pauses, or maybe you stutter or you say things a little bit weird. Practice, practice, practice. Like you're not gonna get to where you are if you're literally not just make the videos. Just do something. Just film. Doesn't matter if it doesn't look the best. That's fine. You don't have to post it, but just record it. See what you did wrong after, like, you recorded it, play it back, see what you did wrong, and then take notes on, like, yeah, okay, maybe do this, fix the lighting, have better tonality, things like that. And most importantly, have fun. Three main things that I want you guys to take away when it comes to making your videos. First important key tip, always film on iPhone. The reason is because if you were to film on an Android versus an iPhone, it's not that Android video quality is horrible. It's just that there's so many Android phones that the platform itself has a hard time optimizing for all of these different phones that uses Android OS, which is why it's better to just get an iPhone or, ask a friend, whatever. Just figure out a way to get access to an iPhone because since there's only like few devices that runs iOS, right? It makes it easier for the developers to make tweaks, make changes, which is why even though there's a lot of Android phones out there with exceptional phenomenal better video quality than iPhone. When you start posting these videos, iPhones just have the best video quality on the app. Next thing, I forgot to add it here, but you need to have good audio. If you're using an iPhone, you don't have to worry about audio. Just try to be mindful that on your phone, you're not covering the bottom of the phone so that the audio is muffled. You don't need a microphone. Your iPhone is good enough. Do not buy a microphone. You need to just start with the basics. Have an iPhone, use the mic, and just start recording. Next thing, have great lighting. If you're poor and you can't afford things like this, which is like a little clippable light that you can attach on top of your iPhone, then you can just use natural lighting, which is, as you guys can see, there's this nice beam of light beaming down my face. You can start with as little as possible with literally nothing. I didn't even mention how with TikTok Shop on the actual app, you can actually get free samples. I forgot to mention this. But, considering how we are starting with products that we already use on a day-to-day basis so that we can actually have strong conviction with our words when we're trying to sell these products, you don't need free samples because you already have it. It's a little bit lengthy, but if I was a complete beginner trying to get started with TikTok Shop, these are essentially like the key main things I need to know about. We're not going to talk about some crazy TikTok Shop tool that gives me the best viral trending product that's super hot right now. Yes, that does work. Yes, that does help, but you're a complete beginner. And if you're picking products that you have no idea about and you don't even use yourself, you're going to have a hard time selling that product because there's no conviction behind your words. And what did I say earlier? People can snake out bull, the posers, the people that are straight up capping in their videos. And if people can't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. So I hope this video helps. If you guys want more detailed advice on TikTok Shop. I have a newsletter down below. And if you have any questions regarding TikTok Shop, drop them in the comments because I'm actually trying to figure out what problems our people are experiencing. And that's why this video is a little bit longer than my usual video. I'm trying to test things and see how it works. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.